everyone. I'm Garrett Teslop, founder of the Squad Room, where we help you transform your leadership, create more resilience, and generate more balance in your life. I started the Squad Room because I was searching for those answers for myself. And as I dug deep into personal development and dealing with the stress of my job as a cop, I quickly realized that I was not alone. So the Squad Room is here to help you become the person you want to be. And we give you access to some of the best experts in the world to help you do that. If you're new to the show, thanks for being here. And don't forget to follow or subscribe to the show so that you don't miss any of this valuable information that literally could change your life. We all need coaches and mentors in our lives, and we have literally hundreds of hours of free content on this show and at thesquadroom.net on growing your leadership, raising your emotional awareness, mastering stress, arresting anger, and creating more balance in your life. Now, let's get to today's episode so you can implement some of these lessons into your life. And trust me, many of these lessons are hard-won. There are blood, sweat, and probably a few tears behind what we share on this show. But the whole point is to help you navigate these tough careers during these incredibly challenging times. So listen closely and maybe even take a couple notes so that you can execute on some of the lessons you learned today. I also challenge you to share this message with friends who are committed to personal development like you. It's important that all of us spread some positivity in these difficult times. It's the responsibility of each of us to lead where we can. And you can do that right now by taking these lessons and sharing them with others. Also, make sure to DM me or tag me on Instagram at The Squad Room so I can cheer you on or answer questions. And I'd love it if you wanted to reach out by email to me. It's garrett@thesquadroom.net. Thanks for listening. Now let's begin. Discipline. What is it? Certainly it's something we're all chasing. We want to be more disciplined in our workouts or on our range time, or maybe we're even trying to be more disciplined with our mindfulness or our meditation. But when you think about it in the context of your job, I bet the word discipline kind of makes your skin crawl. Internal affairs, write-ups, counseling sessions, those are just some of the things we think about when we think about discipline and as it relates to our work. And unfortunately for many of us, we've worked for some people who don't know how to lead unless it's all about the mistakes. How many of you have had a salty old sergeant whose only two modes of communication were screaming at you at the top of their lungs or shutting you out? If you're a leader in your organization, it's absolutely crucial that you learn how to integrate positive discipline into your communications with your staff. So what is positive discipline? Well, if negative discipline is intended to change behavior through the threat of some sort of punishment, positive discipline is really just the opposite. With positive discipline, you're trying to reinforce the good behavior you're seeing. Positive discipline encourages individuals to behave in a consistent and constructive manner. And discipline as a whole is really not a punishment, but rather a system of guidelines and expectations that help create an environment where organizational goals are achieved. Leaders must be able to set boundaries, provide structure, and enforce consequences, and affirm positive actions in order to achieve organizational objectives. Positive discipline focuses on creating an environment in which employees feel appreciated and motivated to do their best work. It can be used to reward good behavior and discourage bad behavior, providing context for employees as they make decisions about how to behave. Maybe you've heard the saying that you get more bees with honey than vinegar, and it's as true with humans as it is with bees. When you learn that discipline is really a spectrum and not just something done to address bad behavior, but also something that can be done to reinforce good behavior, then you develop a leadership superpower. So, to get you started on your superpower journey, here are 9 ways to use positive discipline as a leader to get results from your people. Number 1 is to document good work. To effectively give feedback and help your employees grow, leaders must document good work. This helps employees understand the expectations that have been set, and it allows them to see their progress over time. You should also provide the feedback in a timely manner. If you're in a formal leadership position, you probably have to write annual employee performance reviews. Here's my general rule, and I think it's an important one to share. Don't wait until their annual review to recognize their good work. Most agencies have some system for supervisors to maintain a log or a folder of the employee's work that they've done throughout the year. Too often, those files are only stuffed full of honest mistakes or bad decisions. You should aim to include at least as much positive stuff in an employee's file as the bad stuff. Now, I understand that for some employees, the organizational terrorists out there, this might be difficult. Nonetheless, I've seen some very toxic people change and become high performers when paired with the right boss who recognizes their efforts. Number 2 is to acknowledge effort. I was recently having a conversation with a sergeant from a nearby agency who was frustrated in dealing with the new generation of officers coming onto the job. The sergeant's about ready to retire and is very set in their ways, and he admitted that, and he admitted that he has a hard time praising his employees. He said, "I get thanked every 2 weeks when the check hits my bank account." Ugh. Does that sound like the makings of a motivated and inspiring leader? Now, here's the thing. This sergeant is a fantastic cop, still very active and nowhere near retired on duty as you might expect. It's not that they are disinterested in their people, they're just not comfortable giving out praise. But it's not a surprise, as the older generations were groomed on the suck it up mentality and other toxic mentalities of the time. When leaders acknowledge the effort the team is putting in, it gives them some powerful motivation. Simply being recognized for the effort is often all people want. The key to your people is really not a secret. They want to know that their work means something, that this time away from family and friends is for a cause that they are a part of. Policing is in a serious state of decay at the moment, you might have noticed. And for many people out there, they're probably shuffling, many of our deputies and our officers, our cops, our corrections officers, are shuffling around like they're an extra on Walking Dead. Bring them back to life by acknowledging effort. Here are some simple ideas on how to do that. Simply thank someone for a job well done. This simple gesture goes a long way in building trust and morale among team members. Listen attentively when others speak. When leaders are attentive and they listen carefully, they build trust and rapport with their team members. And praise specific actions or behaviors instead of just general comments or critiques. Praising specific actions rather than making general comments shows that you value the individual, that you're paying attention, and you value their work as an individual contributor. Also, praise efforts even if they don't meet expectations. This is extra important when it comes to new cops. Leaders should continue to praise efforts even if they don't meet initial expectations, because this builds respect for the individual work ethic and it builds the confidence in your people. A dirty secret in policing is that we all make mistakes, but most of us work as if mistakes are indicators of poor character, bad training, or ill intent. If the performance didn't quite stand up, but the officer was making an honest effort, make sure to recognize that. Number 3, say thank you often. This one's really not that complicated and perhaps the easiest one to implement. Say thank you and do it often. Thank them for holding over, for covering an overtime shift, doing extra work on a case, handling the stinky dead guy, running that possessed patrol car to the garage to get fixed. Whatever it is, just say thank you. Number 4, praise in public, critique in private. Praising someone in public can show that you respect them and appreciate their work, and it makes them feel appreciated. When a boss openly applauds good work, it has the added benefit of reinforcing for everyone else within earshot that this is the kind of behavior you want to see more of. Your people naturally want to please you, and praising them openly is one of the fastest ways to get buy-in towards your goals. But don't ever intentionally critique an employee in front of others. Critiquing someone in private allows you to give constructive feedback without embarrassing them or making them feel like they are incapable of performing the job. Having a private conversation allows you to provide accurate and constructive feedback without putting the person on the spot, which can help them improve their performance and keeps them from getting defensive. Plus, it gives you time to collect yourself and your thoughts to maintain control of the conversation and your own emotions. Number 5, pay their psychological salary. In this job, we have 2 salaries. We have our financial salary and our psychological salary. Our financial salary is what appears in our bank account every 2 weeks. It's the payment for our work. As cops, we're literally trading time for money, and that is our salary, along with our medical benefits and our pension. Your financial salary is set. There aren't going to be any surprises, and aside from working overtime, you know exactly what you're going to get. I have some partners who have it down to the calendar day they have to work 10 years from now in order to maximize their benefits. They are focused on their financial salary. Now, the other salary is far more powerful, and it's the one that keeps most of us in the job, and that's the psychological salary. The psychological salary is what gets us up every morning, excited to come to work. It's the belief that what we're doing matters, and it does matter. In my 17 years as a cop, I have never once had to wonder if I did anything good for the world during my shift. I've always been able to point to something in the day where I helped someone in some way, or I got a bad guy off the street, or I contributed in some way to my community. Most of us have lost the ability to see the good things we do every day. But fight to keep that front of your mind and keep that in the front of the mind of your employees. Now here's the great news. The psychological salary of your employees comes at no cost to you other than a little effort. Learn your people and learn what motivates them to come to work every day. It could be dope, traffic, gang enforcement, mentoring youth. Whatever it is, find it, tap into it, and find ways to help them engage in that work. Number 6 is make your employees your clients. Like it or not, as a leader, you are in the customer service business. Only your customers aren't just the public even anymore. Now you have your employees as clients as well. If you're a supervisor, your leadership is far more impactful when you focus on creating positive attitudes and beliefs in your subordinates. Think about it. There's only one of you, and you might supervise 5, 10, 15, or even more people. And if you create a positive attitude in the people that work for you, imagine the good that they go out and do in the world. As a supervisor, you might only have a few public contacts a day, but when you spread the customer service mindset to your teams, you've just amplified the impact you're able to have. So, how can you best service your client employees? First, be clear about your expectations and set boundaries. Don't make them guess about what you want. Be consistent with your standards. Accept feedback and input from others, and make sure that your employees understand the mission. Also, demonstrate empathy for your employees' situation because everyone is unique. All right, number 7 is to treat honest mistakes as training opportunities. It's been 35 years since RoboCop came out in theaters, and here we are still running around as human cops like a bunch of suckers. Well, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, so we better get used to the idea that cops are human and that humans make mistakes. Like a lot of them, and often. Multiple times a day even. It can get infuriating. I get it. There's probably nothing more stressful for a supervisor than trying to mitigate and fix the mistakes of subordinates. But that's where you have an opportunity to go from not just being a supervisor to being a leader as well. You will never engender more loyalty or create more of a connection with your employees than when you are able to identify the difference between a mistake made out of malice and a mistake made out of an honest misunderstanding of tactics or policy or procedures, and sometimes even just common sense. When an employee screws up, and trust me, it's only a matter of time until they do, try to identify how the agency might have failed the employee or contributed to the problem. Now, the most important part, and the hardest part, is to drop your own ego and evaluate where you as the leader might have contributed to the mistake. There's a good chance you played a part in it somehow. Most honest mistakes deserve to be treated as a training opportunity, as a way to improve for the future and evaluate how you and the agency could do a better job of instilling the standards in your employees. There's a very good chance that part of that training opportunity includes a chance for you to get better as well. Now here's the real secret about this rule. When you treat honest mistakes as training opportunities, you develop employees who aren't afraid of you and aren't afraid to bring issues to you early rather than try to cover them up and cover their own ass. This alone solves so many problems for supervisors. All right, number 8. Put them in for every award or recognition they're eligible for. It's really simple. Make the effort and make sure they get recognized. There are people in every agency walking around with a chest decorated like they look like a Central American dictator because their supervisors took the time to make sure they got recognized with the awards, while others with equally miraculous and heroic deeds will go a whole career without formal recognition because they had lazy supervisors, even though they still did amazing things. You can't be lazy when it comes to advocating for your people. Number 9, the last one, make sure your supervisors know about their good work. Very similar to number 8 above, but it doesn't have to be just about the formal awards and recognition. Make sure your supervisors are routinely updated on the good work that your people are doing. Whenever possible, give the praise in front of the employee. Simple comments letting your bosses know you're proud of your team accomplishes a few objectives. First, it demonstrates the pride that you have in your team, and you should be proud of them. If you're not, that's your fault. Second, it lets people know you want to share credit. No one likes a ball hog, especially when it comes to a supervisor. Third, when you shine the spotlight on others and lift them up, they will repay the favor tenfold at some point in the future. So to wrap up, if you're thinking about these tactics and you think that they sound premeditated and calculated, well, you're right. Treating people well and using positive discipline takes attention and intention in how we interact with others. In fact, All facets of leadership require a lot of premeditated and calculated effort. If you think you're going to be a great leader just because of your stellar personality, well, good luck with that. It doesn't work like that. Leadership at any level requires you to be very aware of how you're interacting with others and how your behavior has intended and unintended consequences. Leading others is too important to be left to chance. And so, yeah, these ideas here are meant to create a very specific response in your people. But trust me, it's far better than any alternative of just winging it when you come to work. That's how 99% of the supervisors out there are doing it. That doesn't make a leader. Intentional effort is what makes the leader. So to review, here are the 9 tactics of using positive discipline to get results from your employees. Document good work. Acknowledge effort. Say thank you often. Praise in public, critique in private. Pay their psychological salary. Make your employees your clients. Treat honest mistakes as training opportunities. Put them in for every award they're eligible for. And make sure your supervisors know about their good work. Hey, thanks for listening to today's episode. If you're new to the show, make sure you check through our catalog of episodes because you're going to find some amazing guests and some amazing actionable ideas that you can take into your day. Also, if you like what you heard today, I want to offer you some extra free resources that we give out. It's our Tactical Tuesday newsletter. Every Tuesday, I bring you a few tactics, tips, and strategies to help you succeed in the week ahead. It may be a book I want to share, gear I found useful, an inspiring quote to think about, or anything else I think you'd like. To sign up for the Tactical Tuesdays email list, you can visit thesquadroom.net/Tactical Tuesdays, or just text your email address and your first name to 805-364-2331. That's 805-364-2331. Those text messages actually come straight to me. It's not some big conglomerate where they steal all your information. We won't spam you and we won't sell your information. If you didn't catch the phone number, you can check the show notes for that there. But thank you for being with us today. Please share this episode. Please integrate what you've learned here. Please tag me on social media to let me know what is useful. Tag me with some questions, and let's engage in a conversation. And let's make this a better career and a better environment and a better world for all of us. Until next time, take care of each other and stay safe.